Hello Bits Brood, and welcome to the 4th lesson in the Bitzbox Hobby School. In this video we're going to be looking at painting black and also white. So once again I'm joined by Kaydie.
Hey guys.
She's quite excited for this one.
I've been really looking forward to this one. White is my nemesis.
So yeah, hopefully I can help Kaydie and I can help you guys paint white a little easier. It is a bit of a tricky colour, but I'm sure we'll get there. So, as always, before we begin, if you are new to the channel and you like all things hobby related, then please feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. And also just a big shout out to all our patrons. A big thank you for all you guys for supporting the channel. If you want to know what our Patreon is all about, there is a link down below. We offer free shipping for everyone, no matter where you are, as part of our $5 or higher pledges. And on the $20 or higher pledges, as well as free shipping, you also get random bags of bits sent to you each month. So that's what our Patreon's all about. And this video, as I said, is all about black and white. So let's get onto the desk. We are still working on our Space Marines. And we're going to focus on the same guy. So this guy, if you can see him, I know the light's terrible, but this is the guy we've been working on. So this is how far we got in the last video. Oh yeah, that goes in. So far he's had his blue armour painted and highlighted. And yeah, he's got a few areas on him that are black and a few areas that are white. So the ideal miniature for this situation. Should we start with black? I know you're excited to go on with white, but should we start with black?
Yeah.
Nice and easy with black. We're going to start with Avedon Black. Shocking. So paint this like you would any other colour, which means thinning it out as well. We shouldn't need 2 coats for this, as it is black. Yeah, it's a base paint, but do definitely thin it out to the same sort of consistency as normal. So I'll get out of the way.
No, that's right. I'm just going to tag. There we go.
So there's several areas what are going to be black, such as the bolt gun. And I'm just going to paint the entire bolt gun. There will be some metal areas, which we'll be looking at in the next video. But for now, I'll just paint the whole thing black. I apologise, it's difficult to see at this silly angle. But if we go in a bit more. I do apologise if the light is bad. It looks good on the camera, but on a screen it's a bit hit or miss. But yeah, it's essentially just painting this bolt gun black. He also has 2 small pouches on his back, which I'm also going to do black. But I'm going to leave the big pouch because we're going to do that white. And then he's got his pistol holster as well.
Which one we got to do white, sorry?
That big one there on the back.
Oh, on the back, sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Just make sure I know where
I'm just following the box art for this. He also has like this sort of screen thing on his arm.
Yeah.
That's also going to be white.
Nice.
And then also with the black, there's just some bits between his legs. Or between the joints of his legs, I should say. Which are also going to be black.
Oh yeah, them bits under there. I'll do that now. Think about it.
And there's also some sort of strapping on his back, which I'm also going to do black as well. So we're trying to keep the palette as minimal as possible for this miniature. And to be fair, once we've done these 2 colours and the metallics, that will be all that is needed for this particular miniature. After metallics, we'll probably be looking at flesh tones, which we'll do on the Sergeant.
I'm really looking forward to that one as well. For some reason, just white and the flesh is like, I find that really hard.
Well,
to
hopefully
look.
I can help make that easier for you and for people watching as well. There's also some pouches on his chest as well. They can also be black.
Okay.
Just keeping it simple, having them all black. I think that's how they are on the box art though. Cool, so even if you undercoated your miniature in black, I still recommend painting the black areas with a pad in black. Just because if you make any mistakes when it comes to neatening it up, the pad in black actually looks slightly different to the spray on black, so you would notice the difference.
The pouches on the front as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's mine. Ready to go.
Yeah, so I'm using a smaller brush again. I like my small brushes.
Yeah, I'm actually just using a size 0 for this. I'm going to use a 00 for when we highlight it. It'll be very simple to highlight. We're just going to do edge highlighting again as we did in the last video. So
yeah, I'm going to swap brushes.
While you finish up,
yeah,
I'm going to start with the edge highlight. So we're going to take some Eshin grey for the edge highlights. That's quite a dark grey, so it'll be quite subtle highlights, but that's what we want with black. I don't want the highlights to stand out too much, but they still need to sort of be there. So again, as with edge highlighting, with a lot of this you can get away with running the side of your brush down the pouches like we did in the last video with the armour. And I got just a bit too much on the brush there. Don't have too much on your brush, that is the key. Especially when working with thinner paint. Now I've thinned this down a little bit more than I did for black. Yeah, it's just a case of, apologise, you just see my hands on most of this, but just a case of working it along the edges, some on the bolt gun. I'm trying to show it off on camera. Let's go on the pouches on the back. So running that along the top. I apologise, it's hard. I'm gonna just move my lamp a bit. Oh, there goes my brush. I'll move the lamp so it comes over a bit. I don't think it makes a massive difference on this camera, but I hope there's enough for you guys to see. So yeah, we just run it along the pouch, still getting in the way, but just along the edges. So it's a very subtle highlight, especially with the paint being thin, but it will make a difference. Coming in just a little bit more. It's quite an extreme close-up, but yeah, you can see that line going down the holster there. I'll go around the other side. Same thing again. Side of the brush, just stroke it along them edges. Like so. You can see that gives you a nice edge highlight around the black. So I'm very annoyed because this aerial keeps bending on his backpack. That'll break off eventually, I reckon. So yeah, we'll work around all the black with this highlight, and then when we come back we'll add a further highlight, and that'll be the black areas done.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, we're just going to further highlight to this with some Dawnstone. Now I'm going to do the same sort of thing what we did with the armour, and that is sort of paint the sort of corners and sharp points with the Dawnstone. So I'm going to thin that out. like that. So yeah, it's just a case of hitting the points. See if we can get some camera. So you sort of see the corners of these, of the holster. Let's do a little bit around the corners, up to you sort of how much you do. Okay, so I'm using the 00 brush here. Any brush with a good point on will make this a lot easier. Bring this in shot. So hard working with it close up like this from having the camera so far away. So yeah, again on the pouches, just a case of just getting them corners. Try and get a better tip on the brush there. Now with the paint being as thin as it is, it will look a bit lighter when it goes on. As you can see, there are quite light dots there, but as they dry, that will dull down. Just hitting the corners on that one as well. So yeah, they might look a bit bright at this stage, but once they dry, they should look pretty good. That's up to you if you want to get other areas, such as in the legs. I'm just going to get just the highest, most raised points. So like so, you can see that just between the armor plates, just the highest points of them. And you've just got the pouches on the front as well. Just little dots in the corners. Like so. And as I said, that won't be this light once it dries, so. And then there's just the bolt gun, so just little bits on the bolt gun as well. I'm just going to go right across this bit, raised bit there, but really not doing a great deal on the bolt gun, just little bits. And as you can see already on the front there where it's drying, that's a lot duller now, so they don't stand out so much, but just enough to give that a little highlight. And I'm actually going to get all the little dots, like the little buttons on the pouches as well, with this colour. But you could do that with a metallic if you wish. Oh, well, I made a mess of that one, so I'll have to go back in with the black just to tidy just that little bit up there where I just missed. Again, that's one advantage of painting them with Abaddon black. And with that, that's all you really need to do on the black areas. Just get these little dots at the back. So yeah, that's easy as that for black. I mean, you don't have to highlight with grey. Some people can use, get back in shot. Some people like to use like dark blues and stuff, which I quite like doing as well. Looks quite nice, but for the purposes of this, it's good to start with going up with greys. And if you don't have a grey, you can just mix some white in with your black and just work up. So yeah, that's for black areas. So how are you getting on with yours?
I'm there, pretty much.
Nice. Oh, we're going the wrong way again, so that's out. So that means we can move on to doing some white.
Nice.
So with the white, I'm actually thinking starting with Fenrisian Grey. This is the colour I want in all the deepest shadows, and instead of sort of washing it in, I think we can start using it as a base. So I'll give you some Fenrisian Grey. It's a bit It's a bit clogged up a little bit, but it's not too bad.
It's okay inside the lid. I think so.
A bit of paint on my fingers there, never mind. So yeah, this whole pouch at the back I'm just going to paint in Fenrisian Grey, and it covers quite nicely actually.
Can't close it.
I am just going to do the one coat with this, but depending on how thin it is, I may want to do two, but it's only going to show up in the recesses. It's a bit easier to see on camera, this one, because it contrasts quite nicely with the darker blue of the armour. So essentially it looks like that. And there's also this contraption on his arm, which I'm also going to paint. So now there are small details and stuff on his arm, and there's purity seal on that, and that's something we'll probably come back to in a future video or two. Probably do one just for purity seals. I need to thin that out just a touch more. After painting for a while, you soon start to know when your paint needs thinning. You'll just know it'll just won't flow off the brush as much. It will dry up on the palette, so just be mindful of that. Especially under all these lights that we have in here. And I'm just painting this whole thing white for now.
Got those little bubbles where I've been painting. It's really annoying.
So yeah, so you can see the areas that we're going to do white. So it started with this Fenrisian Grey, and I'll probably do another little coat just on his arm, because that didn't quite cover as well as it did on the pack.
Which parts of the console are you doing? Just
so I've done that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
There are straps actually holding it on, which we could have done in the black, so maybe we'll go back and do
yeah
at some point, just for simplicity. So yeah, we'll just give that a little time to dry, give it a shot, and then we'll do the next step. Okay, so next up I'm going to take some Ulthuan Grey. So this is a very, very light grey, almost white. But when you're painting white, I always find it good to paint in a very light grey, and then you have somewhere to go with your highlights. And that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to paint over most of what we've just painted, just leaving that Fenrisian Grey in the deepest of the recesses. Now you could have started with this colour and then painted the Fenrisian Grey into the recesses, but I prefer to do it this way. I'm definitely going to need a good couple of coats of this. I've thinned it down almost as much as I would a edge highlight, because you want to get your white as smooth as possible to really sell it, which means 2 or 3 thin coats certainly minimum. Let's see, I'm just hitting all the raised areas. I'm going to do all the strapping and everything like that in white as well for now. So we can always paint it a different colour if we so wish, but so as you can see, after the first coat of the sulphur grey, looks a little bit messy, but it's starting to brighten up. Once we get 2 or 3 coats, it'll be nice and smooth.
Mine's really messy.
Yeah, the first coat will be being this thin.
Oh no, I've just messed up the straps.
Do a console on its own.
Oh dear. Okay, so oh no, I just my straps look really messy.
So, starting to build up that colour, and of course if you're doing like a load of these, or a load of areas at white, then by the time you got to the end, get back on the second coat. I think even now, first coat is dry, so start building this up even more. We lost the audio for this clip for some reason, but I'm going to do a edge highlight with white scar. So because we use the Ulthuan Grey for our base coat rather than going straight in with white scar or ceramite white, that just gives us somewhere just to go beyond the Ulthuan Grey. So when you do get a bit of a highlight, it will be slightly noticeable. But there's only a little difference between these two colours. So, as always, I'm just applying it to my palette, and I'm thinning it out with water. I'm thinning it out a little bit more than I would when doing the base layers. So, again, like the last video with edge highlighting, essentially just doing exactly what we did on the blue, but we're just doing it with white instead. And you see, I'm just carefully running the brush along all the edges on this bag. I apologise again that the angle's not terrific. I will look into changing this in future videos, try and see if we can get a better angle to work with. But yeah, just hitting the raised areas, going around the edges. And I'm using a size 00 brush for this. But any brush that has a good point will work just as well. And I'm just going to do exactly the same thing on his arm. So I rinsed the brush out and just made sure I got a good tip. Now when you're painting, it's good just to try and rinse your brush out every now and then. Don't let paint dry up on the bristles, and that way it'll help maintain a good point on your brush. So yeah, just working around the arm. And again, yeah, I'm just painting all this white for now. Any bits that won't end up being white will just be painted over in a future video. but there's not much that needs to go around. But you can see where the white scar highlight is. It does stand out on the ultra and grey. So while it's not a pure white, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, replace the ultra and grey with white scar if you really wanted to, but once you do that, there is literally nowhere to go when it comes to highlighting. And if you look at a lot of white surfaces, a lot of whites are actually not pure white, they're more sort of a very light grey, so that's why I've painted these this way. But that is essentially it. Now the sort of helix symbol, I wish I had a little bit more contrast in the recesses on that, but the rest of it I'm really happy with. You can really see all the details stand out even though it's a very light colour. So yeah, the Space Marine is coming along quite nicely now. The black and the white areas are complete. So obviously, yeah, doing the voiceover now, I have no idea what I was talking about at this stage of the video, so I do apologise. I have no idea why our audio just disappeared. We literally, all we did was stop the video and then just pressed record again, and for some reason the audio just decided not to record for that clip. So it's just very weird, but that is technology for you. But yeah, obviously I'm showing the miniature off still, and I believe I'm just waiting for Kaydie to finish and then I show off her miniature, so that should be quite soon. But yeah, while we wait, I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and hopefully some of these tips are useful to some of you, especially sort of newer painters. And yeah, I'll have to change this view. I sort of went with this view originally just because you could get both our desks in, but it's just too far away to really focus on anything, so I could just have the camera set up to focus on mine. But yeah, I've got Kaydie's miniature here. Now bear in mind that she's never really painted white before, and you can see she's got quite a nice smooth colour going. Not obviously, it's not as grey in the recesses as mine. She did say that her paint was just a bit too thin and it sort of flowed into the recesses, so if you have that problem as well, just have a bit less paint on your brush when you do your base coating and highlighting, and you should be okay. But you can see she has managed to get a nice smooth colour though, and you can see them highlights as well. So yeah, for a first go, she's done really well, and her Space Marine is coming along very nicely. And I actually think the white on his arm looks better than it does on mine. I think he's done a good job there. So yeah, really coming along. So, and hopefully, as I say, if any of you guys are following along and you're new to miniature painting, then I do hope these videos are useful. That's what they're there for. As you can see, both Space Marines there. Together, they're coming along really nicely. So, yeah, I've mentioned it a few times in this video, but we will be doing metallics. Okay, so second attempt at recording the outro. We seem to have lost sound for some reason. So, yeah, that was how you paint white, and so how do you sort of find
that was considerably better than my very first attempt. It's so much smoother and my highlights actually stand out, so I'm really happy with how it's come out.
Good.
I mean, it's a little bit messy, but I can.
So hopefully if any of you guys at home have had trouble with black or white, then this video has proved useful. So yeah, I was thinking of maybe doing like a couple of sort of seasons for this. So in this sort of first season we go through these ultramarines. Obviously got videos we've done so far. And we're going to do metallics next, then we'll do flesh tones. We'll also do other little details such as purity seals and all the other little bits and pieces that they have on them. Then in the future we will come back to this series and maybe we'll do things like dry brush and glaze and wet blend and maybe two brush blend and things like that, even zenithal highlight and all things like that. And if you have any suggestions about the techniques you'd like us to see, then please definitely leave them down below in the comments. And yeah, if you are enjoying this series, then please do let us know by giving it a thumbs up, and you can also write down below as well. But I think for this video, that's all what's left to say. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. You can also click that bell icon to be notified when a new video has gone live on this channel. On the screen now are 2 more videos that you may wish to check out, and a link to our Patreon page also. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.